Well, I just had to make a little further comment on this interview I just seen with this woman who is possibly going to become a Supreme Court justice. And being 51 years old myself, I was of the firm belief that there could exist very, very little that could surprise me. By the time I was 30, I could make a case that I have seen dang near and almost everything. And that pertains to the good of man and to the evil of men. Now, sitting here, listening to this lady be questioned, astounds me. I am literally taken aback, shocked, and I cannot believe that this lady is even being considered for a Supreme Court judge. Completely flabbergasted. Now I'll say again, and this is the truth, our chromosomes do not have a mind to think or consider any matter. They are your chromosomes. When you are born, you either have XX for a female and XY chromosome for a male. This can be discovered in a simple blood test. Now, your chromosomes do not entertain or acknowledge your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your aspirations. They do not entertain any type of medical or hormone therapy suppression of any sort. They do not entertain high heels, lots of makeup, wigs, and they do not entertain surgery, what you cut off, put on, tuck, fold, none of it, because they are chromosomes. They do not have the ability of thought. So whatever you do, whatever you think, and whatever you say is what they call in court a moot issue. They do not pay any mind to the things you do or the things we say or think. This woman, I'll tell you her name in a minute. I forgot it. I think it's down there at the bottom here. Let's see. It's Kanji something. She's being considered for the Supreme Court. She cannot define what a woman is. The reason why this lady is so hesitant to answer specific and direct question is because she does not want to upset her constituents that put her in this position to go in and sabotage our rights, the Constitution, and Supreme Court precedent already set in place. Now, one of the questions were, should schools teach kindergartners that they have the ability to decide what gender they are? Now, these are, last time I checked, or from what I remember personally, you're 5 years old when you hit kindergarten. So, to me, that is illogical to teach a child that they have the ability or the motor skills or comprehension mentally to decide what their gender is. You cannot teach a male child with the XY chromosome that he can mentally decide that he is not a biological male as directed by biology and how you were biologically born, what you came out as, how you were formed in the womb. There is inherent differences in the male and female body and bone, muscle, even mentally. I've read lots of studies where they seem to suggest a woman can take more pain than a man, and it's not only based on a woman's ability to go through labor numerous times, but a woman has a menstrual cycle, cramps, she gives birth, she has ovaries, and her skeletal structure is not as dense or thick to that of a man, nor is her muscle mass anywhere near the density of a man. I'm going to find out her name. Her name, this woman being considered for Supreme Court Justice, is Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I tell you, I am more surprised, question after question, that this lady refuses to answer simple questions. Can you define a woman? And her answer is, I'm not a biologist. With a big fat smile, like you can see. I don't know if you can, maybe I got to brighten my screen. Let's see. It's just terrible. What I want to say here, what's going on, what is so blatant, is this is how scientism changes or transforms what is illogical into the logical. Okay, something that is illogical can never be logical. Something that is wrong can never be right just because you say it is. And that's what scientism does. They have no demonstrable fact. All they have and what they come with are theories. Theories are such because they are based on supposition. Now, it is true that theories have general principles that are they themselves facts, but those general principles, those facts, are always independent of the theory in question. I'll bring it up briefly. Gravity. Things do fall down, that is a fact. But those facts are independent of what they say gravity is, outside of direct evidence that connects the two by directly detecting gravity itself making something fall down. So something falling down can be demonstrated. What cannot be demonstrated is that there is a force or power interacting, engaging, or engulfing that item falling down, either on its outside, surrounding, or within that object. There is no means of propagation, no current, field, wave, beam, ray, particle, or graviton. So a theory, the theory of gravity, does have facts in the theory which are independent. Things falling down are a fact, but they are independent. They do not prove the theory in of themselves, and gravity remains a theory. But what's going on nowadays can equate to what the Bible warned us about in the end days, that these liars will take what was wrong or what is wrong and make it the new right. And what was right at present is now the new wrong. And that's what's going on here right now under these hearings to question and qualify this Ketanji Brown Jackson to becoming a Supreme Court Justice, which I believe is a life term. So once they get in, they're in. And they can change the law. Now, if anyone would care to explain to me how it is right, how it is logical to teach kindergartners that they have the right and the mental ability to decide or choose their gender outside of real science that can be demonstrated in a biological manner or with biology, that they can themselves, based on their own mental capability, say, I am no longer a boy. Although I have XY chromosome, I am a female because I say so, or because I think so, or because my teacher said I could. How is that logical? I don't understand. That is illogical. And that's what's going on. This is how scientism operates. This is why you believe many of the things you believe. You don't understand them, but you believe it, because if you walk into any room and see a globe, you will say, that's my home, because that's what they told you in kindergarten. And my point is, when you are in kindergarten, this is when your mind is most malleable. This is how a child easily learns to walk and can not only learn to talk, but can learn to speak numerous languages, because at that age their minds are, I don't want to say more powerful, but more receptive to their surroundings, what they see and what they hear. And this ability decreases over time. That's why a child forms their personality from about 4 years old to 7 years old. That personality is formed. That's why it's important to teach your children from an early age morality. What is right and what is wrong, and to teach your child about the Lord. What's going on is just another red flag of the end times. What Putin just did is going to get him in the category of what happened to Saddam Hussein, or Saddam Hussein, and the nutcase Gaddafi. Alright, they branded them terrorists. The real reason why they did this was because these men fought what's called the petrodollar. Okay, our money would not be important in Canada or any other country outside of America if you didn't need it to buy oil from Saudi Arabia. We get our oil, most people get a good portion of their oil from Saudi Arabia. And these people over there are billionaires. Okay, and you cannot buy oil unless it's with American money. And that is set up to prop up the American dollar. Now Putin, the oil he's selling to many European countries, he has just set it up that you must use rubles to buy his gas or his oil with. And that is a direct violation. That is a cause for war. When Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi changed their economy over to gold, backed by gold, that was a big no-no. Our money's not backed by gold. If it was, we'd be down the tube many, many years ago, because when you have a $5 bill in your hand, an American $5 bill, that used to be a note that represented $5 in gold. So you could go to the bank, present that $5 bill, and get $5 in gold, or a dollar in gold, or $100 in gold. They got rid of that for them because America ran out of gold. Now they just print up money ad nauseum. They print it out of thin air. The only way our economy could crash is if we ran out of the paper to print it on. So what's going on as a whole with these types of supreme liberal lunatic nutcase possible supreme justices like this person here? What's going on with Ukraine and Russia and all over the world? If the news at 6 and 6:30 even gave you 30 seconds of the true state of America, you wouldn't even come out of your house. There are some news agencies that Fox, they're scumbag puppets, but if you want to hear a smidgen of the truth, you might catch some on Fox. They're telling, in Democratic states, the crime is so bad that the governor's telling the people not to wear your jewelry outside. not to not to drive fancy cars to stores after work. Can you believe that? They're telling their constituents, this is how we're going to fight crime. You cannot make yourself attractive to the criminal. In democratic states, there is an all-out looting chaos going on because the new policy is not to arrest minority people, not to discriminate against them, not to profile them. They are literally smashing windows, grabbing whatever they want at Chanel or Cartier, smashing the windows, grabbing everything, and walking away. And when you do get apprehended and it's less than $900, you get a piece of paper that says, this is the day you got to go to court. Good day. Goodbye. Don't do it again. I tell you the truth, they are hiding the true state of the world from you. And they're using this garbage that they give you at 6 and 6:30 to distract and mislead you. And there is no greater indication that these are the end times when you see this garbage here. That this guy, I like him, High Impact Flicks. I like him. I follow about 85% of what he says. He's an undercover flat earther. He does a little on it, but he doesn't quite have the required character to stand up for what he believes in. So that's one of the things I do not admire about him. But I am subscribed and I will thumb that up. But this dialogue here is freaking astounding. I was never more surprised in my life until I heard this lady under direct questioning, refusing to answer if 5-year-old children in kindergarten should be taught, because there are schools teaching it, that 5-year-olds can pick their gender. And it's not just between a boy and a girl. There's about 50 non-binary. I'm not even going to go through it. I don't even waste my time trying to remember it because it's all reprobate, Sodom and Gomorrah, evil wickedness, liars of Belial, garbage, telling a kid they can think they are whatever they want, that they're not even a boy or a girl, or they're in between. Or you can be a leopard or some type of mammal. This is Sodom and Gomorrah, the United States of Sodom and Gomorrah. Matthew chapter 24 clearly outlines this. It clearly forecasts in prophecy that that's what these liars are going to be doing. I wish I could play some of it. I don't dare take the chance. At any moment, I can receive strike 2 and 3 in one volley. I got strike 1. I don't know if that wore off yet. You gotta not get another strike within 90 days. But there's a couple videos I uploaded. I'm sure it has to do with this subject here, that they could come down on me, and if you don't see me no more, you know it was censorship. And there's only one reason why they censor you. I mean, if you're telling the truth, if something is the truth, then you're not going to worry about jerks out there contradicting it. And why they would worry about me with my low subscribers and low view count is because they censor the truth. They don't want it out there. They don't even want one person hearing anything that is in direct contradiction to their narrative. And their narrative is you can be whatever you want, open borders, we're all the same, Sodom and Gomorrah, one world government, one world religion, one world economy, one world everything. And it is unbelievable how correct the Bible is. That's why I say read Matthew chapter 24, even if you're an ardent, fervent atheist. If you have an IQ over 90 in this case, not 99, if your IQ is over 90 and you read Matthew chapter 24, you will have no choice but to say, wow, this is spot on. There is something to this because everything it says is occurring right now. So they were talking about a private school, Georgetown Day School or Daystar School. I think it was Day School. And they're teaching their kindergartners that they have the ability, there's a mental capability to believe they are whatever they want to be. If they don't want to be a boy, they don't have to be, regardless of XY chromosome. They're teaching the girls, regardless of your biological XX chromosome, you do not have to be a female. And here's a list with 50 gender identifications on them, and you can choose from any one of them. And we will have to, by law, respect it. This is complete wickedness and immorality. It contradicts true demonstrable science, which is the truth that can always be demonstrated, verified, and understood. What they propose, what has been going on, is a facet of scientism. Your spinning ball Earth, your infinite and expanding vacuum universe, your 500-pound rocks whizzing around above the sky of the Earth, and marble-sized micrometeorites whizzing around at 17,500 miles an hour, 15 times faster than a bullet, believing you can change your gender, men swimming with girls and winning, is all scientism. It all promotes everything that is illogical. And most accept it because since kindergarten, that's why they're teaching kindergartners that they can be whatever gender they want, because we have been systematically dumbed down to instantaneously believe everything we're taught, shown by the liars of scientism. We have been indoctrinated. So the bottom line, which I think will remedy itself, I don't believe the earth has a whole lot of time to realize a true state or country of Sodom and Gomorrah. I believe they will attempt it. The New World Order, Tower of Babel type situation where the world was one, they spoke the same language. I believe this will remedy itself. I believe the Lord is going to return soon, and he's going to be very, very upset. And when I hear this stuff and think about it, I mourn for the world. I mourn for humanity. And it's terrible that some people, they're going to face a reality so stark that the realization of true logic is going to hit them, and they are going to weep and gnash their teeth for not having realized it sooner, that there is a superior creator, which is logical. Everything we have, this laptop had to be made by a superior being with the ability of thought to form a plan, process, and repeated execution. Nothing can exist without the ability of thought to make a plan, to do the process, and repeat said process over and over, to have more than one, whatever it is you want. If the things we make cannot evolve, and if we are superior to the things we make that cannot evolve, how could it be logical to teach that we, being superior, could only exist if we evolved, when there isn't a scrap, scintilla, smithereen, or one iota of any indication in the fossil record that we did evolve, or that ancient primate baboon type monkey turned into a man over millions of years. Do you know how many fossils that would leave behind? Millions of apes haven't had died transforming into a man. There would be thousands of intermediary fossils left behind from an ape transitioning into a man, and it doesn't exist. It's one hoax after another. They're all busted. Either the bone shard, and when they do find a bone, it's a shard 1 or 2 inches large. Come to find out it's from a baboon, or it's from some other type of extinct primate. Just terrible. And it has become so easy for them to pull the wool over your eyes. We allow it. And until you start questioning things, until you stop instantaneously believing everything you are told by the news at 6 and 6:30, by Neil deGrasse Tyson, by Bill Nye, the Science POS, you're doomed. Do you really think, per a Fox News article, that science will move the sun, earth, moon, and all the planets to another location in space to avoid killer asteroids because they're going to invent stellar engines? That's from the movie Wandering Earth. It's fraud. They're plagiarizing movies. All I can tell you, and this will be the last time for a while, read Matthew chapter 24. If you want to know what's going on and what's going to happen and what you should really prepare for and how to do it, read Matthew chapter 24 immediately.